Hi, my name is Jonny Ross. I am the owner and digital marketing specialist at Fleek Marketing, which is a digital marketing agency. Um, Let me tell you a bit about my background. When I grew up, I always wanted to be an optician. My uncle was an optician, and I went to Bradford College to study ophthalmic dispensing. I qualified in that. I did my pre-reg year with Vision Express. Uh, During that year, I really got really enjoyed being in retail, and so much so they asked me to go on the trainer course, which was basically training other branch staff and other branches on some of the Vision Express core values and how to sell and some of the technical side of dispensing spectacles. So I became an in-store trainer for Vision Express. They then opened a new store and asked me to be part of that opening team, which was great. Worked with them for a number of years. Then moved into an independent practice. It was a chain of opticians across the northwest of England. That was back in 1998. And then about a year later, this was sort of in the dot-com boom, 99, I decided to open an e-commerce store selling sunglasses. And we were one of the first. And because of that, we were one of the busiest. We were at the top of Google for absolutely everything to do with sunglasses, designer sunglasses, Armani sunglasses, you name it. We sold every single brand of sunglass, from Dolce & Gabbana to Christian Dior to Bollé to Oakley, Nike, you name it, we did every brand. And we were at the top of Google for every single word to do with sunglasses. Our brand name, designer sunglasses, red sunglasses, Armani sunglasses, etc., etc. We were busier than Shade Station. We were busier than Debenhams. We knew that from our buying power. We were buying direct from the manufacturers, and business was great. In 2004, sales dropped. We didn't really know why, and it took us a month to realize that we were no longer on page 1 of Google. We'd been pushed to page 7 of Google. Now, no one ever goes to page 7 of Google. So we went through 2 SEO agencies, search engine optimization agencies. That's about optimizing your website to be higher in Google. And we went through 2 agencies. We've spent tens of thousands of pounds over an 18-month period. Neither of them could solve the problem. In fact, 18 months later, we were still on page 7 of Google. It was really frustrating. I became really frustrated with the SEO industry and digital marketing agencies, in fact. In 2005, I found a guy in New York who was on $250 per hour, a huge amount. And he said, I can get you back to page 1 of Google. Well, 2 weeks later, we employed him, and 2 weeks later, he got us back to page 1 of Google. I learned a massive amount about search engine optimization. We couldn't get to the top because others over that 18-month period had taken over. So we got to positions 2 and 3. Position 1 were things like Debenhams, things like Shade Station. We needed to invest. We needed to put more money into it. The senior partner didn't want to because of all the aggro that we've been through. And so I decided to go off and help other businesses understand what search engine optimization was all about. My story is very much trying to get across to you that making decisions early on whilst you're in school can be really difficult about what you're wanting to do when you grow up. I wanted to be an optician. Well, it's funny how paths change and how things happen. And you don't need necessarily qualifications in the field that you end up in. It's important having qualifications, and it's important doing things you want to do. But the point is, it doesn't stop you transferring your skills or transferring to a different path. I transferred, and I set up my own business, helping businesses understand what search engine optimization and digital was all about. Back then, people weren't used to Google Analytics. They weren't used to social media. For you, for me, social media is within us. probably use most of it every day. Some of you may still not go on there, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you think of it, a number of years ago, a lot of businesses didn't really have a clue what they were doing on social media. And in fact, still today, they don't really know. So for me, it was self-taught. I used to go on news groups and forums. It just wasn't called social media when I was younger. And so for me, it was very natural. So when I set up my marketing agency, it was obvious that people didn't want just search engine optimization. They wanted help building websites. They wanted help with marketing. They wanted help with social media. They wanted help with email campaigns. So I set up an agency. So that's how I got into it. Within, what I would get across to you whilst I've got this opportunity is digital and digital skills. And that could be anything from being able to open an email, being able to reply to an email, being able to use Excel, being able to use Google Docs. Google Docs actually is being able to use the Microsoft suite and being able to use the Google suite. So whether that be Google Slides or Microsoft PowerPoint, these things are really important. And across any sector in any industry, having good digital skills is really helpful. Knowing about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of the first places that potential employers look. So what's your LinkedIn profile like? I'll come back to that in a moment. The big point I want to get across, as well as being able to transfer your skills and whatever you pick today about, thinking about your future, it doesn't have to stay that way. You can progress, and then it's very easy to change paths and progress into something else. But I would say that the second thing is having good digital skills. So like I was talking about, having Microsoft skills, having Google skills, being able to, really understand how computers work, really understand apps, technology. The more you can get into technology, the more you can get into digital, the better any job you do it'll be a lot easier. You will be, when HR managers are looking for different types of people, having those digital skills are really important. The third thing I wanted to talk about was LinkedIn and your own profile. As I said to you, I've got associates that when they put a job out nowadays, they might get over 100 replies to one vacancy. Now imagine if you were the HR manager or the HR director trying to fulfill that role and you've got 100 CVs to look at. Well, one of the things you're going to do is you're going to find a system to reduce that number very quickly, because the last thing you want to do is spend a lot of time looking at 100 CVs. So how do you stand out? Well, having skills, having a good CV, all of those things are important. But one of the things that most managers do, most HR managers, most company owners, most company directors, when they're looking at recruiting, is they look at your social media profile. They look at, are you on LinkedIn? They look at what your profile is like. And we've got to be very careful about our social media profiles. We've got to be very careful about what we're saying, the pictures we're adding. We've got to understand our privacy. It's fine to put whatever you want online, as long as it's only your friends or family that are seeing it, for example. You might not want a future employer to be able to see some of the stuff that you might post online. So being very thoughtful around which platforms you're using and what picture you're painting. If you want to get into a particular career or a particular industry, what you want to do is paint that on your public profile. So could you, for example, on your Instagram, post pictures that are related to a sector or an industry? Or could you use your LinkedIn profile to maybe start writing some thought pieces, some blogs, share some content from things around different industries that are related to the industry or sector that you're wanting to get into? Social media is very powerful. It can have a huge negative impact. It can have a huge positive impact. What's your social media footprint look like? What would it look like if I looked at your your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your TikTok? What would I see? What would a potential employer see? Have you got a LinkedIn profile? Why not create one? Why not paint a picture of what you'd like me to see? So 3 things. Doesn't matter what you pick today, as long as you do well, you can easily transfer to a different path later on. Second thing is, digital skills are really important in every type of job role. And third thing is, have a really good think about your social media footprint and take the opportunity of something like LinkedIn and build a picture that makes me think you really want to be in my industry, or whichever industry you're wanting to be in. I'm a potential employee. Make it look like you really want to be in my industry. Good luck with whatever you choose to do. I've been Jonny Ross from Fleek Marketing. If any of you want to speak to me, feel free to find me on LinkedIn and we can chat. Good luck in the future. Take care.